safer world is possible, and together we can and will make it happen. Thank you.
When you show up in community, you find that group that makes you feel like home, but oftentimes you also find yourself again.
What is today actually about? It's a reminder that all of it is a man-made edifice. The medieval arguments about a divine right of kings or monarchs being appointed by God, I don't think anybody really subscribes to that anymore, and if they do, they are respectfully too bonkers to pay any attention to. But it's all entirely confected, the whole shebang. The idea that someone can live in a 30-mansion house for free simply by dint of the fact that a long-distant foreign ancestor slid into an empty seat called a throne at some fortuitous point in history, and his successors and children, grandchildren, grandchildren are dedicated to one thing and one thing only. Because the royal family only have one job, and that is to survive. That's it. The only job the royal family has is to protect the ludicrous system at which they sit at the very top.
Hello there, and a very warm welcome to Sussexful. I'm your host, Emma. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Sussexful for more in-depth discussions, honest opinions, and fearless commentary on the stories the mainstream media often overlook. Now, in today's video, we're taking a closer look at a powerful and thought-provoking moment from broadcaster James O'Brien, who has once again held up a mirror to the British establishment. After the removal of Prince Andrew's titles, O'Brien is asking the questions so many are afraid to ask, questions that expose the confected and protected nature of the royal family. He reminds us that the royal family's entire structure seems designed to defend itself, to shield those at the top from accountability, while the rest of society is told to respect the institution. The phrase "their only job is to protect the ludicrous system at which they sit at the top" perfectly captures the hypocrisy we've all witnessed time and time again. James points out something incredibly striking: the deafening silence from figures like Reform Party UK, Zia Yusuf UK, and Nigel Farage. These are the same people who are often loud and outraged about law and order and British values, yet when it comes to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, suddenly they vanish. No calls for justice, no passionate speeches, no insistence on transparency. Why the silence? Why the double standard? Why aren't they demanding a full investigation into the royal family and the alleged £12 million payment that was reportedly made to silence a victim? If we truly believe in equality before the law, why does accountability stop at the palace gates? This conversation is bigger than just one royal. It's really about a pattern, a system that protects privilege while punishing those who dare to question it. It's about how power works in Britain, how stories are managed, and, honestly, how public perception is manipulated to maintain control. And perhaps most importantly, it's about how the same institution that turned its back on Prince Harry and Meghan for seeking independence continues to close ranks around a man with deeply troubling allegations against him. The hypocrisy could not be clearer. So, let's talk about it. Let's have the conversation that others won't. Because until we start questioning the silence, we'll never break the cycle of protection that keeps the powerful untouched and the voiceless ignored. So, join the discussion in the comments below. What do you think about the way the royal family and the establishment protect their own? Do you believe true justice can ever exist when the system itself is built to defend its hierarchy? And, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Sussexful for more powerful discussions, fearless truths, and honest storytelling. The farce of the royal family. The removal of Prince Andrew's titles is yet another example of the carefully curated and choreographed nature of the British royal family. It is honestly a hollow gesture, a meager attempt to appease public outrage while doing little to address the systemic issues that plague this archaic institution. The deafening silence from certain political figures, who one might expect to be vocally critical of the monarchy, speaks volumes about the entrenched power and influence wielded by the royals. The alleged £12 million payout to silence a victim is a sordid reminder that the royals operate by a different set of rules, shielded from the scrutiny and accountability that should be the hallmark of a modern democratic society. This entire saga lays bare the confected, artificial nature of the royal family, an institution more concerned with preserving its own interests than upholding the principles of justice and transparency. The decision to strip Prince Andrew of his military titles and royal patronages was a significant one, signaling the royal family's attempt to distance itself from the ongoing scandal surrounding the prince's association with the late convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. This move not only acknowledges the gravity of the allegations against Andrew, but also reflects the family's desire to preserve the monarchy's public image in the face of growing scrutiny. The implications of this decision are far-reaching, as it underscores the royal family's recognition that the stain of scandal cannot be tolerated, even at the highest levels of the institution. By taking this action, the firm is sending a clear message that no member, regardless of their royal status, is above accountability when it comes to matters of moral and ethical conduct. The royal family's very existence seems to be predicated on maintaining a, ludicrous system from which they derive their power and privilege. Their position at the top of this system raises serious questions about their legitimacy and true purpose. The recent removal of Prince Andrew's titles only further highlights the confected nature of this institution, where titles and status are bestowed and revoked based on political expediency rather than any deeper sense of merit or accountability. It's curious, isn't it, that some vocal proponents of reform have fallen silent on this hot-button issue, unwilling to demand a proper investigation into the troubling allegations and financial settlements surrounding the royal family. Their silence speaks volumes about the complex web of interests and influences that prop up this seemingly antiquated system. The deafening silence from certain political figures in the wake of the Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor case is both puzzling and, frankly, disconcerting. One would expect these leaders, who claim to champion justice and accountability, to be at the forefront, demanding a thorough and impartial investigation into the allegations surrounding the royal family. Yet, their conspicuous absence from the public discourse on this matter raises serious questions about their true priorities and allegiances. The public deserves answers, and the victims deserve justice. The time for silence and inaction has long since passed. The reported £12 million settlement paid to silence the victim has, really sparked outrage and demands for transparency from the public. Many are calling for a full and thorough investigation into the allegations against Prince Andrew, as well as accountability for any potential wrongdoing within the royal family. The shroud of secrecy surrounding this case has only, amplified the calls for the truth to be uncovered, with critics arguing that the monarchy seems more intent on protecting its own interests than ensuring justice is served. As the debate rages on, the need for a clear and unbiased examination of the facts has never been more pressing. The royal family's position at the top of this so-called ludicrous system is undoubtedly a cause for concern. They wield immense power and influence, yet they seem largely unaccountable to the very public they purport to serve. The removal of Prince Andrew's titles was a move that some have seen as a tacit acknowledgement of the family's ability to protect their own interests, even in the face of grave allegations. The deafening silence from certain political quarters on this matter is telling. It suggests a reluctance to challenge the entrenched privilege and authority of the Windsors. If the British public is to have any faith in the integrity of their institutions, there must be a thorough, impartial investigation into the actions and conduct of the royal family, without fear or favor. The public's perception of the royal family has been shifting in recent years, as the institution has faced increasing scrutiny and calls for accountability. The removal of Prince Andrew's titles in the wake of his association with the Jeffrey Epstein scandal has only further highlighted the need for the royal family to address public concerns head-on. There is a growing sense that the monarchy's opulent and insulated nature is at odds with the lived experiences of many Britons, and that the family must demonstrate a willingness to confront its own shortcomings if it hopes to maintain the public's respect and support. Silence or evasion on sensitive issues will only erode trust, and the royal family would be wise to embrace a more transparent and responsive approach to regain the confidence of the people they serve. The media's coverage of the Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor case has been relentless, shining a harsh spotlight on the inner workings of the royal family. Their influence has undoubtedly shaped public perception, fueling a growing disenchantment with the monarchy. The strange silence from certain political figures on this matter only heightens the sense of unease, as one would expect a more vocal response demanding a thorough investigation into the allegations and the £12 million paid in hush money. The media's role in this saga has been both powerful and concerning, leaving many to question the true nature of the royal family's hold on power and the mechanisms they employ to maintain it. The Prince Andrew scandal has cast a dark shadow over the royal family, raising serious questions about accountability and the need for reform. The decision to strip him of his military titles and royal patronages is a clear acknowledgement of the gravity of the situation, but it is only the first step. Many are now calling for a deeper investigation into the alleged misconduct within the palace walls, demanding that the privileged elite be held to the same standards as everyone else. The deafening silence from certain political figures who have previously been vocal about the monarchy's excesses is particularly telling, suggesting a reluctance to challenge the status quo and the powerful interests that prop it up. As the public grapples with the implications of this scandal, it is evident that the future of the royal family hangs in the balance, with the need for substantive change becoming increasingly urgent.